Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
I am phenomenal.
Did you notice I did something different?
Like the fade?
Yeah, like the fade in the back. I have like a little mohawk going on.
Yeah, I noticed. It looks good.
Thanks.
It does.
When I was getting it done, the hairdresser was like so proud of herself. You know it's good when the hairdresser's proud of herself.
Yeah.
It's just because I want to sit tall today. I feel sexy today. I'm feeling myself. I'm trying to feel better about my appearance.
Yeah.
And I am like trying to like put work into some of my body. I want to lose a couple pounds. I don't need to be ripped.
I don't really think anybody needs to be ripped.
Like, I don't feel the need to have a six-pack.
Yeah.
I just don't want to like look like I'm pregnant. Again, I've said this a billion times. I think I talked about it once before, but Georgia keeps saying I have a baby in my belly. She has been, this week, she's been a freaking monster. She got a hold of her brother's gum.
Oh my God.
And went into his room, got a hold of his gum, and chewed it. I don't know if she swallowed it. I don't know if she put it somewhere. I have no idea. None whatsoever. So this girl is just getting a hold of crap, and she's been destroying crap. Speaking of, kids are fucking tornadoes.
They are.
Like, we get this house cleaned up, and then all of a sudden, it's freaking filthy again.
What happened?
What happened?
Ugh.
Drives me nuts.
Do you want to start?
Oh. Hey guys, welcome back to the Gen D podcast. We're your hosts,
Tyler and Alyssa.
Yeah.
This is our off-topic topic where we talk about things off-topic.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to talk about is, first off, I don't know why, but I think this was a high thought because I think I had it while I was high. I was sitting there and I was just sitting there thinking about, why is it okay for men to be shirtless, but not for women?
Because of the boobies. Because of the excess fat.
Why?
I literally don't know.
Because, like, I was sitting here thinking that they're just boobs. And maybe it's just because I'm a gay man, so I don't look at boobs sexualized.
Unfortunately, we live in a patriarchy.
It's weird. Why are boobs sexualized? Why is anything sexualized?
I don't know, because their purpose is to feed babies.
Yeah.
And how is that sexual?
But maybe because I'm a gay man, so I don't see the appeal in boobs.
I don't know.
I was just sitting there and I was thinking, I have man boobs. I have a little boobies. But I can walk around shirtless all the time, as long as I don't go into a public store. But women cannot.
It's the nipples. You can't show the nipples, the areolas.
I don't understand, because we have nipples too.
Yeah.
Like, it makes no sense
Yours
to me.
aren't fat bags.
Also, one of the other things I wanted to talk about is the English language.
Yeah.
So there's a song that's out that's gnarly, right? There's a song called Gnarly that's out. How is gnarly spelled?
Narley.
No. There's a fucking G in front of it.
Okay. That sounds about right.
There's a fucking G.
So it's like
Why?
gnome.
Yeah, why is gnome?
I don't know. They just wanted to add another letter. They were like, that doesn't look right. Although my whole life I thought now it's spelled N-A-T.
But it is.
It's G-N-A-T.
Is there a G?
Yeah.
Why? That doesn't make any sense, because gnat. There's no gnat or gnome.
Can I tell you something that's going to piss off the Italian in you?
Sure.
Every time LJ pronounces gelato, he calls it gelato. And I go, gelato.
Gelato.
He goes,
no.
gelato.
No.
And he's so confident.
He's so confident.
Every time.
He's like, I'm so confident in what I'm saying right now. No. Sorry, the Italian in me is saying no.
Yeah.
No. But the English language to me makes no freaking sense, because it should not be gnarly.
It's not. It's gnarly. The G is silent.
Why is the G silent?
I don't know.
Why put the G in there anyway? It's
definitely weird. Or like knee is Knee. What's the K for?
What's the K for? What? It's not knee.
No.
And the K is silent. What is up with silent letters?
I really don't know. I think it's just to fuck people up. But also, the English language is one of the hardest
to learn because of that stuff. They're like, sound it out, and you sound it out, and you add the letters, and they're like, no, that's not right.
Right.
But it is right.
Phonetically, yes, but phonetically isn't like 100% accurate. When you like do things phonetically.
I don't
Or you
understand.
read phonetically.
Well, because then there are a lot of words that sometimes you'll sit there and you sound them out and you're like, what is that word? And then you have to look around for the context clues around it and then the word places.
Yeah.
But then there are words that you'll sit there and be like, this does not look right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's right, but you're like, that doesn't look right.
So I feel like get a word wrong or you mispronounce a word, it's because when you learned it the first time, it was because you were reading it. Like you didn't hear it, you were reading it, so you came up with like your own version of it. So me, for instance, I'll say salmon instead of salmon because the first time I learned it, it was reading it. So that a lot of the times if you get words wrong, it's because you read it and you didn't hear it.
So especially like gnarly, I'm going to think you spelled it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's spelled that way.
Mm-hmm.
There is no G.
Well, that'd be like the other way around. Like if you heard it for the first time, instead of reading it, you would assume that it doesn't have a G in it because it doesn't sound like it does.
No, because it doesn't.
Right.
Because the G is silent.
Mm-hmm.
Silent letters make no sense to me.
That's why I always thought Nat was spelled N-A-T, but it's G.
I know this is a very boring off-topic topic. I don't know what is going on, but we have a better on-topic subject that Alyssa came up with. And obviously last week, I know we put out a little bit of an episode, very small snippet of an off-topic, because our main episode, we just weren't feeling it. It just wasn't being felt. Our whole process of doing this is to put out content that we'll enjoy.
Yeah.
And also that we think you guys will enjoy. And yes, sometimes we go off on little tangents about certain things, but if it doesn't feel right to us, we're not going to put it out. And when I was trying to edit the episode, it just became too choppy. Like, I can't. Like, in good conscience, I cannot do it. So we just didn't put it out. And we just felt like it would be better just to redo the episode and do a whole different topic, which again, Alyssa came up with. And I don't know at all what she has in store for this episode, which I love because sometimes when I don't know what's in store, it just becomes the best. I think for me, with you, when you come up with things, I love listening to what you have to say. I do. I love listening to what she has to say. When she talks sometimes it's very fascinating to me and she makes the show. Like if she wasn't here, I feel like I would be screwed.
That's not true. You got so many views on Leo's episode.
Well, I think a lot of them were probably Leo's friends. Like, let's be honest. That episode was probably a lot of Leo's friends.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Like that probably wasn't the audience that we're wanting to have. It does bother me sometimes when some of Leo's friends go onto our page and they're watching our clips and stuff. I'm trying to gear towards an adult audience.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to gear to children. If I did, I'd do a whole children's thing. So this poor girl over here, she hurt her ankle. I think we talked about it last time at a baseball game. And then I guess yesterday, what happened?
Oh, so it was actually Tuesday morning at like 3 a.m. I was heading to work and I tripped down the stairs and I hurt my ankle again. And it really sucked and I called off. I was like, I can't come in. I can't walk.
How did you trip?
So because LJ moved in and everything, I was throwing stuff at the bottom of the stairs, like blankets and boxes.
Yeah.
Because I had to make so many trips up and down those stairs, and they're so sketchy.
They are some sketchy stairs.
And so I would just throw stuff down there. And I don't know why, but when I made it to the bottom of the stairs, because I tripped at the bottom of the stairs, I just tripped. My ankle just went it hurt so bad.
You know, ironically, my grandma in her house, she hurt her ankle. I think she fractured it or broke it, one of the two. But I had just gotten home. I was about to put my key into the door, and my grandma was coming down the stairs, and all you heard through the door was this like petrifying scream because she had stepped down to go off the last step, and when she did,
that's pretty much what happened.
Buckled her ankle in.
Yeah,
and I had to fight with her because she's usually the one that will be like, you can't rely on the crutches.
Yeah.
Well, when her ankle started to heal, she got too dependent on the crutches. So I had to get her off the crutches. I had to tell her, like, when you're at the house, don't use them.
Right.
Because, like, you're being too dependent
Mhm.
on those crutches.
You're not getting any of that muscle.
Yeah. I had to take the crutch from her. I was like, Grandma, like, you can't have this anymore.
Give me those.
And she's like, but Tyler, and I was like, you would do the same exact thing for me if I was the other foot. No, you can't have that. You know, if you need to, use the stuff around you, because their kitchen is very, like, their apartment is very small.
Yeah.
There's stuff that that she could have, like,
Right.
used to kind of help her if she needed it. But I wanted her to wean off the crutches.
Right.
So I had to fight with her to get her off the crutches. And she kept going, well, I'm scared. And I was like,
oh,
but you'll
feel
be
that,
fine.
though.
Speaking of, somebody I know, and I can't say who, somebody I know has to have their gallbladder taken out.
Ah, really?
I was talking to somebody I knew, and somebody I knew that knows that person has to get their gallbladder taken out.
Having to get it taken out is not fun.
Yeah. And, well, this person is a lot older, though, too.
Yeah.
So
usually they are. I was unlucky.
Well, my mom got hers taken out in her 30s.
Yeah. I just don't know a lot of people in their 20s.
Yeah. Well, I'm afraid that right
Late
now
20s.
everything seems to be going good with my sister, but my sister has a lot of gallstones. Like she would get them constantly when she was younger. So hopefully it's settled out, but she may have to have hers taken out too eventually.
Yeah.
Like
You
it's
just sound like
muffled.
Yeah. There's like a lot of static around you.
Is it better?
Yeah.
I don't know why there's a lot of static. I think we may need to get a new
Maybe your
mixer.
beard's like
Maybe I do rub my beard a lot onto the thing. So
we
yeah,
should probably get into our episode.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and end the off-topic topic, but stay tuned for the episode. We'll be back. We are back.
Have you ever heard of Dear David?
No.
Okay.
I am very interested.
So it's actually really, really creepy, and a bunch of different people have like covered it because it's been out for so long. But I recently found out about it, and it's a Twitter like thread story. But I don't know if it's real or not, because the guy who like posted to his Twitter, right, that like got famous and all that, he like swears by it, right?
Yeah.
But you know, we don't know.
We don't know.
So no, but it's really, really crazy and really, really creepy. So essentially, this guy lived in this apartment building, right? And I want to say in like New York somewhere.
Of course, it's New York.
Right, naturally. And he kept having these weird dreams of a little boy. And he would try to like describe this little boy because he was kind of like disfigured in a way. And so he drew him, and the boy has like a dent in his head. And he's like a blonde little boy, and he's got like a dent in his head, and he doesn't say anything.
He just stands there,
sits there at the end of the bed, or stares at him, or whatever the fuck. So it's like a sleep paralysis demon, right?
Yeah, okay.
And but he's like, so he drew it because he's like, I've been having dreams of this little boy with a dent in his head, and it's really creepy. But anyways, so then he has a dream and it's this woman who like comes to him and is like, have you seen Dear David? And he's like, what do you mean? And she's like, Dear David, he's the little boy that comes to you and like watches you sleep or something like that.
Oh, I get cold chills.
Yeah, or something like that.
Woo.
And he was like, oh yeah, I've totally seen that kid.
Totally. He's been here a few times.
She goes, you can ask him questions and he'll answer.
Oh.
And she goes, but you can only ask him 2. If
only
you ask
2?
Yeah, if you ask him 3, he'll kill you.
Oh.
Yeah. So a little while goes by. He doesn't really think anything of it. And then he has another dream of Dear David. He asks him a question. How did you die? Where did you die? Or what? I don't know.
Something along
he
those
died
lines.
And he responds like in a grocery store. So he died in a grocery store. And he goes, how did you die? And he goes, a shelf fell on me.
Oh, explains the dent.
Right. And then he asked the third question, not even thinking about it.
Oh no.
And I forget what it was, but he didn't answer.
He killed him.
No. He didn't answer the question and he woke up.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So then he's like, okay, I'm gonna die, totally. But then things start getting like pretty creepy, right?
Yeah,
So
because he asked that third question.
like a fucking idiot.
You can ask the questions every day.
Right. Just don't ask 3.
Just don't ask 3.
You could literally just wait.
Yeah.
Anyways, so then certain things start to happen. Like during certain hours of the night, his cats would like stare and meow at the door. Or he had like this Ring camera in the house or whatever, watching the cats, and the cats would act really, really weird, like somebody was there in front of them. Ooh. And so eventually he started. It's so creepy, but eventually he would take like pictures. Like he got a Polaroid camera, and he took,
of course,
right,
naturally.
And he took a picture with the Polaroid camera of his hallway because that's where the cats would constantly meow at that door. And when the Polaroid would come up, the hallway was dark, whereas the light was on. Yeah. But when he would take a picture with his iPhone, the light was there. But on the Polaroid cameras, there was no light in the hallway.
Yeah. That's weird.
It's really creepy, right?
So, like, how did you come about this, like, story?
I don't know. I think it was, like, a TikTok that I saw, and then I, like, went into a YouTube deep dive. And I literally sat there and read every single one of this dude's tweets.
Oh.
It took me, like, an hour and a half.
You went through a deep dive.
I did.
Okay. I do love getting into topics like that.
Too.
When you're, like, researching something.
It was giving me chills.
You know, was it in the middle of the night?
It was at work, but it was at night.
Oh, okay. Well, at least you know.
I'm like by my. Freaky.
Oh, you were by yourself.
Most of the time.
Oh, that is freaky. But the good thing is, there's other people in there, so if something started happening, you can run to the people.
Yeah, but then I'm like, oh, I gotta go outside at night. Oh, gotta drive home in the dark, and then sleep in the dark. I actually slept with the light on for the last couple. when I was going through all this, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, go on.
It was so freaky. I'm getting ahead of myself. So that camera that he put up in the living room to like see the cats and stuff, there's this green chair, right? That chair will like rock, and you can see it on the camera. Shit will fall, different things will happen to the point where, and so the next time that he had a dream about Dear David, right? Dear David grabbed him by the arm. Ooh. Yeah. And took him to a warehouse. I don't know if it was abandoned or not. I don't remember. But it was some kind of warehouse, right? That wasn't far from where he lived. And then when he woke up and he got in the shower, he noticed a bruise on his arm. And then he would like go to a bodega every single day. And on the way to the bodega, there's this warehouse.
Yeah.
And he noticed that the warehouse door was like, and it's abandoned, was open. And sitting in the middle was nothing but like a green chair. Creepy.
That is creepy.
And so he's like, is this the warehouse for my dreams? The one that he took me to?
So why was he leading him to the warehouse?
I don't know. And then like the next day he couldn't he would hear noises come from inside the warehouse, or he would like try to take pictures of like inside the warehouse and stuff like that, and things would like move around.
Please tell me he didn't go inside the warehouse.
No, thank God. He'd be dead.
You know the one last episode that we talked, or the last episode we talked about, like just run. Just run. Just don't get curious.
He was like really freaked out, which I would be too. He even at one point so he would hear stuff from above him. And at one point, he got his landlord because he noticed that there was like a crawl space area kind of outside his door up the stairs. So he got his landlord to like check out what's up there. And he found like a really old little kid's shoe. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And something else that was also really old and like for a kid.
So David lived in the house.
I don't know if that was like the grocery store, or he did live there.
Oh my God!
Or the warehouse was the grocery store.
Oh my God! Ooh.
Right.
Oh my God! I'm getting cold chills.
Right. And then he even went to Japan for a while, right? Mm-hmm. And he it's great out here. Like I haven't run into any problems. I don't think Dear David has followed me, because that was one of the things that like he was like, well, I don't want to get a new apartment, and he just followed me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The attachment.
Right.
Yeah. Which it was a point. It was a play.
Scary.
I did hear Leo come back, but
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So he ran into this statue in Tokyo that had this woman who was holding a kid with a dent in his head.
Oh my God.
So then he was like, I know that this is all just a bunch of random coincidences, but it's weird,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it is. It's all of this stuff added up is weird. It's freaky.
When did this story happen? Like when?
I want to say 2016 into 2017.
Oh, so it was like a very older story.
Like it's about 10 years. It's like
Yeah,
8 years old.
Yeah, technology wasn't as advanced
Right.
as it is now. Like
Right.
8 years ago.
And I could show you pictures of all this, or I could show you the YouTube video rabbit hole I went down. It's
So
chills.
after I edit this video, you should go back through and
add in the pictures and stuff. I will actually show you guys. So we have like the warehouse and everything, the statue. He gets back from Tokyo. He's like, "Oh, things have been a little weird," and he can like see things outside of his house, and it's just freaky stuff.
It is freaky.
And
it's the kids.
I know, it's freaking me out.
It's the kids.
So then he started getting like a lot of like sleep paralysis, and he would wake up and he would see Dear David, and Dear David would just sit at the couch in front of him and just stare at him, or would like come up to him. And so he would take like a lot of like photos, right, on his phone, and on his phone you can see, okay, so like it was nighttime, it was dark in the room, so he had to turn the brightness up on these photos so they're kind of like disfigured a little bit, but you can clearly see Dear David just getting closer and closer to him. And like he starts out from the couch, and I'm definitely going to show you these photos, because he starts out from the couch, and the more he scrolls on his phone, the closer he gets until he's literally on top of him.
All because you asked 3 questions?
Yeah, apparently. And then he goes to, I want to say like Minnesota or Michigan or something, to his family's to stay with his family for a minute, and for a while, for like the holidays, and then for a while he's like, things are good, I haven't seen or heard from him at all, I don't think he followed me, which is great, right? And then he sees like little boy footprints in the snow outside of his house. All these noises are really freaking me out.
So like, okay, so my dogs are locked up right now because Leo has a friend over. And when they're meeting new people, they can get overwhelmed. So we're talking about the story that my
all
son,
the sounds.
My son and his friend are upstairs, and you hear footsteps upstairs. And then our window is open over here because it's a little chilly down in the basement. And we heard a plane. It freaked us out. And then my dogs, like I said, are locked up, so we heard them whimper. So it was like, oh my God.
It's just all this stuff is freaking
all this stuff is freaking. I'm getting like mad.
I know, it's really crazy. It's scary.
And the great thing is, it's during the day, so I feel a little bit better about it.
So, yeah. So when he was at his parents', at night he like was going to the bathroom, and he saw out the window like a little figure, like a short figure, right? And so, but it was nighttime, and he saw it run back towards the shed. And then the next day he goes outside and he sees these footprints that lead to the shed, but they don't lead anywhere else.
See, the crazy thing, I was waiting for you to tell me that when he started, when this started to happen, he started out like small answers, and then his curiosity got the best of him, and he asked the third question just because he was like, nothing's really going to happen. This is just a dream. No, it was the first time you meet this kid.
Literally, he's like,
or the second time.
Yeah, he was like, so what's going on with all that? What's up?
What's up? Like,
yeah. So then he's like, okay, so this entity will follow me anywhere. Cool. So then he goes back home, and he can literally see from his rooftop these figures that look kind of like him and everything like that. And it's just like all these like really weird, crazy coincidences. Yeah. And nothing really comes of it, honestly. Like, I think that over time it kind of like he gets used to it. I don't know, but
he doesn't die.
He doesn't die.
Is he still alive?
As far as I know.
I wonder.
Like, there's months worth of these tweets where he's like, hey, I know it's been weeks, but I'm fine. Everything's fine. Nothing's happened until this happened. Yeah. And then he'll like update you on what happens. But he still gets like really weird, like,
dream. I wonder if, because every single time he sees them, he gets asked 2 questions.
He doesn't though, and I don't know what it was like after that third question. He kind of blended into his reality.
Right, but what I'm saying is, why not ask him a question while it's blending?
Right.
into the reality, because you're
I don't know. I'd be frozen. I'd be so scared.
I'd be like, just take me to a psych ward. Like I could not
I
live like
couldn't be by
that.
myself
Yeah,
ever.
ever, never.
I'm gonna need someone right by my side at all
All
times.
the time. But could you imagine you're just a normal average day person and something like that happens? Shit gets real. Like, you don't know. I do believe in ghosts to a point,
Mm-hmm.
because like I witnessed one. You know, I witnessed a man hover over my cousin when she was sleeping. It was very freaky incident. I never like experienced stuff like that.
Yeah, me neither. Thank God.
I don't know if I could sit there and ask the person the question.
I couldn't, because I don't want you to kill me.
Yeah, like I would be too
I don't want to
petrified.
acknowledge your existence at
No.
all.
Like, I want to pretend you're not there at all. Like, you're not there, you're not real. This is not happening to me.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that like some people, when they talk about experiences, but we have to also think like experiences like that back in like just here 100 years ago, for example, schizophrenia and stuff like that is a real thing.
Yeah.
And so you never know if that's what's happening.
That's true. If I was hallucinating, I would definitely think that like I had some kind of
Schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Or like some
Because,
sort of like,
you know, a lot of, and I think this is like a really cool workaround. Not that it's a cool disease at all. It actually sounds very terrifying, and I feel so bad. They'll have like a dog or whatever, and the dog could tell you if the person they're seeing is real.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that like the dog is like trained
To know,
to
yeah.
know, like to bark if it's a real person.
Yeah. Like make sure that like
Yeah. So if you're seeing somebody and you're hallucinating a whole person in front of you,
the
you
dog
could be
is
like,
not
"Hey,
gonna.
is that real?" And the dog barks.
Yeah, like I just want to make sure. Could you imagine though somebody being
Yeah.
like, "Why is your dog
Or not
barking?"
knowing like what's real.
Yeah, that
Scary.
like that, and that's the thing with this story is like you're not sure if it's real because
Yeah.
from the beginning he said that if you asked a third, or the lady was
And he's
like,
still alive.
yeah,
Like, not that I wanted him to die,
no,
but I wanted like him to be honest.
yeah, like you know, I mean, again, it'd
Sounds
be
like he's just a menace, to be honest.
like the spirits, the menace.
Mm.
So why would the woman be like, you know?
And why just the one time did you
just-
see the woman?
Yeah, like
I have
why the one
questions.
time?
And the woman was like, the woman was right about it being like Dear David and everything, and that you can ask him 2 questions.
But it's still, then again, like I said, I get that you asked the third question, but he comes back, so why not ask him 2 other questions every single time? Be like, when will I die? Are you going to kill me? And then end it there.
I don't think
the
I
next
want to
day.
know.
And to be honest with you, at that point, I would. I'll be like, you know what? You need to either stop terrorizing me and end it, because like I
Yeah.
can't live like this anymore.
And there for a while, dude was feeling really sick.
Yeah. After a certain point, it's like, can you really live like this
I couldn't.
for like all eternity of your life? Like I could not live like that.
I couldn't live knowing that there's an entity around me.
Like every single time I turn around,
I saw your heart stop.
I know it did. Also, that really freaked me out.
Yeah.
It cut me off. But also, what was I going to say? We were talking about I couldn't live like that. But you don't also know if it's reality or not.
Yeah.
If you go, like, maybe go and get checked out. Maybe he did go and get checked out. Or he's now so used to it that it doesn't. I think at some point
it was a marble. Sorry, go ahead.
It was a marble?
Yeah, I just remembered. Like that other thing that fell out of the cross face.
that made you think of it?
Yeah, it was a marble. Like from the 20s or whatever. Or the 1900s.
But don't they look the same as they do now?
No, because they used to look different.
Oh.
There used to be something very different about it.
I used to play with marbles a lot.
Yeah.
When I was younger.
Kids.
Yeah, children. It's very freaky stuff to think.
Always the kids.
I think kid ghosts are freakier.
I don't know why though. What about them makes them so scary? Because they do freak me out a lot more too.
It's because they seem so innocent, like the innocence of a child.
Maybe
they don't.
But why are they scarier?
I don't know. Children freak me out in general. Like my kids sometimes, like they freak me out because they'll say certain things and it's like, the fuck.
The fuck?
Like Georgia, for instance, saying that like I'm alive. That's wonderful, honey.
That's
like,
wonderful.
That's
Please
great.
go play now.
Yeah, like go away. Or there was one time Georgia was, when she was a baby, she was just starting to learn how to talk. When we got the kids, like, she slept in our room and she was in her crib. And there was one morning she woke up and I was on the same side that she was because I was a freaked out parent. Like, I was a hover parent. When she was little, I used to hover over her and make sure she was not dead in her sleep. There was one time it sounded like she said, "I'm going to die."
What the fuck?
And I was like, no, you're not. You're fine. And like, it freaked me out
Oh no.
because it sounded like a full sentence.
Yeah.
And she was pretty young. So she was just learning how to talk in the full sentences. And then there's something about when you hear, there was one time like I was getting Georgia into the car and she's in the back seat. And again, she's just learning how to talk. So her sentences aren't always full sentences. They're like words.
Yeah.
Except when you hear a full sentence come out of a child's mouth that is so young,
Yeah.
it is kind of freaky because it's like the full sentence. And so I was getting her in the car and I was getting into the front seat to get in, but I was looking to make sure the stuff was there. And she goes, "Daddy, say hi."
Nope.
What? She said, "Say hi."
Oh.
I was like, "Hi." And then after that, there was no full sentence. Where did that come from?
Like ghost?
That was so freaky because I wasn't even looking at her when she said it, but I heard her. She was the only one in the car because it was just me and her. The kids were at school. So I was like, the fuck? Like,
Stop.
it sounded like it would be like Mackenzie or Leo in the car, but it wasn't. It was Georgia. And she
Georgia
was,
and the ghost.
yeah, like she was little. What the fuck is this shit? So I think kids can be kind of freaky in that way because, like, again, sometimes they don't say full sentences. Sometimes when they talk to you, they do say off the wall shit. Like, it is sometimes like
Ugh.
freaky, some of the things kids say. And they're so close to the world of the dead that sometimes it draws the dead to them. So, like,
Stop.
it's freaky to think about. So this Dear David character,
Mhm.
he's got a dent in his head from an experience that he had when he was little, supposedly. So we don't know if it's real or not. Could you imagine a little dent in the head is enough to freak you out anyway? Because there's like this indention and this little boy who, one, is quiet and like can, you see this little small person and you think they're so sweet and innocent, but sometimes kids can do some pretty fucked up shit.
Yeah.
Like Jeffrey Dahmer, like him as a kid, he started killing animals.
Well, a lot of serial killers did.
Yeah.
If I catch one of my kids killing something, I'm gonna have to take him back.
Like, yeah, like I'm peace out. Like, I'm not taking my chances.
Mm-mm.
But that's
I'm next.
Yeah.
I already know I'm next.
But then, like, this woman comes to you, says, "Don't ask 3 questions." It's like a genie, like you get 3 wishes.
Mhm.
Don't ask 3 questions. You can only ask 2. And then you ask the 3 questions, and then you're terrorized by this little boy, in anticipation of whether you're going to die or not. It's
I'd
like,
be so scared, and then not to mention you get a bruise on you.
yeah. And then, like I said, either, oh, that's where I was going. Either you get so used to it that it doesn't bother you
I
anymore.
think he was. I think that he got to that point where he was like,
Like, then at that point, nothing will freak you out.
It had been like 6 months later, and he's still alive, still kicking it.
Yeah.
So he was probably like.
So there was a thing I saw on TikTok that was like, if you can bring along a friend or a family member to like stay in this haunted house, and if that person leaves, you lose the money. I would bring my dad all damn day. So there was that TikTok that I saw about, if you, a certain event. My dad doesn't get scared very easily.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I would bring him all damn day. Because I honestly think he would just make a joke out of everything.
Yeah.
Like, he is so unserious but serious about things sometimes. It becomes funny. Sometimes you're like, are you being serious? Because he makes a joke out of everything.
Yeah.
I would just bring him when the competition is.
You run out?
No.
I'd run out.
I honestly, because with him, I probably wouldn't be as afraid.
Fair.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he really is one of those people that could legitimately make a joke out of everything. That it'd be like, oh, this makes it kind of less freaky. If something were to happen, he'd probably make a joke out of that.
I just remember the time that my dad dragged me through a fucking haunted house that I made him pay for, and then got too scared to go through, so he dragged me through it. And then like we got lost at one point, and my dad was like, "Can we get some help here?" And one of the guys had to like direct us. He was like, "Take the hallway."
I think we went on a wrong path, didn't we? When we went to the haunted house,
did we go to a haunted house together?
We did.
We sure did.
For your birthday.
We sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Maybe it was just because we were standing there. And
it was really freaky.
When we went to the haunted trail with my dad, like, things become unserious.
So it's not even that
So
scary.
it's not as funny. And I have a harder time getting scared about certain things. Mm-hmm. Like jump scares, that's probably the way you're going to get me.
Facts.
Things don't freak me out as they used to.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that, like, I've kind of become so desensitized to it.
Especially as like a horror fan.
Yeah.
But anything will freak me out. Anything will freak me out.
But like real life stories of like certain things, I want to believe they're not true.
Me too.
But they freak me out because it's like based off like real events.
Do you know Annabelle?
Yeah.
She's going to be in Kentucky here pretty soon.
Oh, fuck that.
In October.
Do you know how they said that she was lost?
Someone took her, and then they found her.
Like
someone just took her, and I'm like, it was that easy? What do you mean?
Like, is that really that easy?
First of all, put her back.
No, put her in the White House. Let her have fun there.
Well, she was somewhere south, and maybe Virginia or something like that, and a plantation caught on fire somewhere where she was.
Yeah, and I know there was other places.
And I was like, Annabelle out here doing the work for us.
Right. Like, did they bring her back because they were freaked out by what she was doing?
No, they literally just like, I really don't know. But
because it's hard to believe. Like,
I just think they should have kept her locked up.
Right. I don't want to take my chances with things like Ouija boards and stuff like that. So I was wrong. The Ouija board was originally meant to communicate with the spirits, but it was marketed as a game.
Well, yeah.
For children.
It was supposed to be for kids.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not.
But it definitely
have you ever
isn't.
actually used one?
No, and I will not.
I did once when I was like 6 because we were spending the night at somebody's house, a friend of my dad's maybe. There was this like one of their kids. I was hanging out with her and she had a Ouija board, and so we were using it, but I didn't know the significance of it or anything.
Right. Nothing
crazy happened, and I never used one again.
Yeah, sometimes nothing does.
But also, we were kids who didn't know what we were doing.
Right.
So
I do feel like as I got older, I kind of refused to play with a Ouija board, and I don't want it in my house. I try to encourage my kids not to with their curiosity, and I know that like they joke around that sometimes they want to, and I'm like, please don't.
Literally.
Please do not get yourself a spirit attached to you, because I don't want it in my house. Like, I don't want to play that.
I don't want to play
game.
your little reindeer games.
Yeah. And the last time, and Mackenzie got mad at me for talking about it, but I'm going to anyway. And I talked about it once before, but Mackenzie like is so convinced that there's a spirit in our house. And I'm like, there's not, because I literally have been throughout this house.
Yeah.
At all hours of the night. So like I've never witnessed anything out of the norm or experienced anything out of the norm.
Right.
She's just so convinced that there's something. And I'm like, there isn't. I'm not trying to be mean about it, but I'm like, girl, like I have literally been throughout this house.
First of all, you don't need to freak me out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, ain't nothing going on.
Right. But I feel like she is somebody that would play with a Ouija board because her friends are playing with the Ouija board. So she'd get convinced, and she, with her luck, she would be the one that has a spirit attached to her. And she would bring it into her house because she's so convinced about it. But like, if that happens, no offense, but please haunt her. Just haunt them. Don't haunt me. Like at this point,
I didn't ask for this.
Like,
I didn't invite you here.
Yeah, like I didn't invite you. They did out of their own.
I saw this this post, and it brought up some interesting questions. So if a vampire cop had a warrant, could they come in?
Yeah, Yeah.
Like, is that like legally binding?
Right.
If I have a warrant, can I come in, or do I have to sit there?
Speaking of that too, there was a video that I watched yesterday of like uh fan fiction versus like reality of what would happen if a vampire couldn't come into the house.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, you gotta invite me in. I just love it when you invite me in. And the person's like, oh no, I'm good. Like, you can go. And then the fanfic was like, oh, it's happening. Yes, you can come in. Like, take me now. Bite
Oh
my
yeah,
neck.
yeah. I'd literally be like, no,
No,
you're working too hard for that invite.
right.
Like,
You're working a little too
that
hard.
makes me think you're a vampire.
Yeah,
Like,
you can't come in. No, thank you. I would probably be like, you know what? Are you gonna end me easily? Like,
my thing is like, if someone's like, invite me in, do it, and I'm like, I'm confused.
why?
I'd be like, why do you need me to invite you in?
This seems so suspicious. Like,
Get in.
no, thank you. No,
Mm.
it's like
I'd be like, doors open.
you can go in. But that's
No,
inviting
you
it.
can't
Yeah,
say you can
can't
come
go.
in.
Yeah, because that's inviting them in.
And you'd be
Doors
like, I do not invite you in.
I do
Wink.
not invite you in.
I just need
Wink,
to
wink.
know. Why are you working so hard for it? You're
right,
a vampire.
You're a vampire.
I'd be like,
have to
are
be.
you a narc?
Are you a narc? Are you gonna narc on some things? Like, what's happening here? We gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
So there was a TikTok that I saw too, where it was talking about why is it always the spirits of like somebody from like the 1800s?
Yeah, and it's never someone from like 2000.
Oh my God.
I just want someone with like a Nikota.
Like could you imagine like a Valley girl being like, oh my God.
Literally, I don't know why we don't. Like, all the ghost stories are from the 1800s. Like, they were so tortured back then.
Yeah,
like,
maybe
they didn't all
that's
just die.
why. Maybe that's why
we're tortured.
We are tortured now. So, but you
Really?
don't ever see somebody from like 2000s era or like
the 90s.
90s. Like, you don't see them. It's always like not even the 80s. You just see spirits from like
the 1800s. Maybe the 20s.
Maybe the 20s.
Yeah.
But you never see anything newer. Why?
I don't know.
What specifically about that era makes them pop up a little bit more? They went through some crazy shit, but like, we're going through some crazy shit.
I don't know.
But then again, that boy, Dear David, he looked like he was from like, she was showing me some pictures, guys, and when you see them, it's but he looked
the
like
next one, his like face and ear was up at the camera. That's how close he was.
Oh my God, because like he looked like he was probably from like what, the 90s.
Oh no.
80s.
I mean, he does look like that, but he's actually from like, I mean, it kind of seems like he's way older.
Oh
He
my
looks
God.
dead.
I got cold chills from that.
So
I claim
he just kept getting closer up to that point.
Yeah, I claim no evil from this story. Like, none. I am having like mass
I claim
cold
none of it. That's what I'm telling you. It's so freaky.
It is freaky.
Ugh.
But
And no one knows if it's real.
And you don't. It is so funny, the things that you can see on the internet that you'll never know if they're real or not.
Mm-hmm.
And with AI coming out, there's so much you can do.
But the creepypastas of the 2010s were fucking crazy.
The creepy what?
Creepypasta?
Creepypasta?
It's like a Reddit thing where they're just like stories, like scary stories. But they're fake. Like Slender Man came from creepypastas. Mothman.
Maybe we can do future episode about stuff like that.
Yeah. I find that shit so interesting.
I know you do. It is interesting. I try to be a positive person. I want rainbows. No, it's not bringing me down. I just am such an open-minded person that I believe in the possibility of everything could happen.
Me too, and it freaks me out, but I kind of like it. Like the black-eyed children. Whew,
like
freaks me out.
That whole story in itself, like, is freaky. That's kind of like the black-eyed children.
Let me in.
No, thank you.
No.
I don't like people very much, so
me neither. I'm not letting you in. Like, I don't know you.
No, thank you.
I can call the cops from inside my house. Thank you.
Right, like I'll help you outside. You stay outside. You cannot come in here.
Go into the garage.
Like, and those are one of the things that, like, now, especially now these days in the world, I don't trust anybody, even if it's a child, because what if the child is part of the plot?
Oh, yeah. Or like a woman.
It took you a minute.
It did
Yeah.
take me a second.
You're like, hold on, wait,
Like,
what? What if, like, I'm sorry, if you're coming to bang on my door for help, I will call. I will call 911, but you ain't coming in.
Literally, I don't know you.
Yeah, I don't
like. Have you
know
ever seen
you.
Strangers?
No.
Where they're okay. So the whole premise is like someone knocks on your door and it's like a woman, right? And she's like, "Please help me, I'm injured, or I got into a car accident, or whatever." But it's just an excuse to get inside.
Yeah. Like that shit, and I've heard of Strangers, but that shit, like, no. I'm sorry. But if you really do need help, I'm staying in my house. I'm calling 911 from right there. I will say where you're at, and hopefully they come soon. But I am not opening my door to you.
Literally.
Like,
I don't know you.
Like, I don't know you, and I don't know if it's a plot for you to get in and get me. And I'm not being
better
one
safe
of
than
those.
sorry.
I'm not being one of those statistics. I'm sorry.
With that being said, do you have anything else?
I don't think so. So on Spotify, I learned that you can't find us by the Gen D podcast. We're trying to get that fixed. So you can find us by the Generational Drama podcast on Spotify. You can try the Gen D podcast, but I don't know. It's having difficulties. So you can find us on Spotify, YouTube, RSS.com, Apple, Substack, Instagram, Blue Sky, Skylight, TikTok, Facebook, I think. I don't know if I said those already. But Google. You can find us all by the Gen D podcast or the Generational Drama podcast. Other than that, this is our final episode of the season. So I really hope you guys enjoyed our spooky episode. Heebie-Jeebies of the episode. So until next time, bye. And we do have things coming in the future. So stay tuned.